Welcome to the big board. Time for a quick shrink rip. I wanted to share with you the Heroes Against the Red Star lock and load tactical system, brand new edition, just out. It's a reimagining and reboxing and relabeling of Heroes of the Gap and Honor and Patrie, I believe. And we'll have a look when we get inside. I'm guessing it's Honor and Patrie because of the label here, the little French chappie. It's kind of a giveaway. And let's get in there and have a look and see what's inside the 3-inch deep, beautifully and artistically put together box, which I happen to have put together correctly. Just took the shrink off. It's interesting they actually boxed it up that way. Okay. It's funny. So, little detail on the back gives you some insight into what's going to be in here. So, 122x34 map, some geomorphics, 6 sheets. Holy crud! 6 sheets of counters, 24 scenarios, player aids, you name it. And I believe if you look carefully, you will actually find a kitchen sink in here as well. Medium complexity, high solitaire capability, and we'll have a look at why that may be the case. If you've never played Lock and Load before, you'll know that it has good potential for solo play, I believe. I've played it in solo many, many times myself. But enough, let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so this is going to come with all the Heroes of the Blitzkrieg maps that were a separate module that you had to purchase back in the day when Lock and Load was owned by Mr. Walker. And so you needed to have this module in order to play the Honor and Patrie expansion of Heroes of the Gap. But instead now we have, what are we up to? 2, 3, 4 double-sided maps that represent eight maps to allow you to play the game to your heart's content with all the good stuff. Now, lots of charts and things. Let's put them to the side for a minute. Here's the Red Star rules and scenarios. Don't be intimidated by the big rule book and scenarios. I think, well, this is actually, in fact, going to just be the modified, the module rules. So this is all scenarios, I'm guessing. Yes? Yeah, and there's dozens of great scenarios. I've played nearly all of these. In fact, I play tested several of them. And Downtime is one of my favorites. Yeah, there's some really good scenarios in here. As you can see, there's a bunch. Redbacker 1 is another fun one to play. Then the module rules clock in at 10 or 11 pages, but let me just show you here. Am I zoomed in? Looks like I am. No, I'm not. Okay. The lot more explanation of the module rules now than perhaps in the past, with some diagrams and better explanations and a little more clarity on the rules, because you've got a lot of interesting new weapons. So LRAC 89mm rocket launchers and appealers, and obviously claymores, which were in the NAM game. French weapons teams, there's some specialties there. The Soviet AGS-17 grenade launcher, always an epic piece of fun to start laying that badass on the alleged good guys. Tree line roads are discussed in here. Unit type affordability, political officers, some of the things that are special to the marksmen for the French forces and Soviet forces and the West Germans and the Belgians. Yes, Belgians are included in here as well. The French tank unique characteristics, no matter, and I'm going to piss all the French people off here, but no matter how biased they were trying to dress this little baby up and put some lipstick on that pig, these are still pretty crappy tanks. They have relatively good guns, but they are some thin-skinned mofos, and one shot and you're going to knock those suckers out, which is always a lot of fun as a Soviet rolling around in a T-72 or a T-62, start popping AMX 30B2s out. It's pretty awesome. Okay, rubber boats are in this as well. Everything is in here. It's awesome. 24 scenarios. Okay, enough. Boom. Rule book, straightforward. I like these rules. They're easy. They're actually easy to play. There's lots of discussion going on the forums about making some changes and all that sort of fun stuff to things to, make it more realistic or whatever the folks want to do. You don't need to worry about that. You get yourself a copy of the 4.1 rules and you're going to be just fine. You don't need any other edits, and if you want to add more to it, then sure, go download them. Lots of good examples in the back here for the modern era. It talks about helicopters and mortars and all the rest of it, all the things you would expect in the modern era. Night combat, I'm trying to see what else is in here that's worthwhile talking about. There's some extra charts at the back here too, I think. Here, reference charts. This is everything you need to know about rockin' and rollin' with a rules reference on one page, basically. Another page here, 2 pages, sorry. So that's pretty cool. Let's check out all the counters. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so I can see as well, because hopefully I was showing you stuff well. So you have a lot of different vehicles here. Everything from the M1 up on the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to just zoom in on that bad boy so you can see him. So there he is in all his glory. 16 armor defense and on front and side. M2s, M1A1s, of course your APCs, captured T-72. It's a special counter for one of the scenarios. And then you've got T-80s, you've got T-72s. You'll see the T-80, even it is a 12-13 rating for its armor. So not quite as powerful as the M1s. I've got M60A3s as well. I missed those earlier on. T-72s. There's even the legendary Black Eagle is still in here. Hinds, which will mess your day up significantly. BMPs, BMP2s, T-62s, all of the massive variety of French vehicles. If you thought the British were haphazard with their number of vehicles and designs and trying to manage spare parts, the French, they got nothing on the French. The French are off the chain when it comes to a massive variety of vehicles. Obviously some info counters, then you've got your squads and your marksmen and your reduced squads. That's actually not a marksman, they're heroes there, sorry. I'm trying to find a marksman counter for you. I can't see one off the top of my head. We've got a little icon on them, I thought. Nevertheless, turrets, which you use to, when you're using the, not advanced rules, but if you're using the turret rule, you can. I typically don't use that. Crew markers, don't use crew markers either. I think they're a waste of time. Nice new helicopter crash counters. Barricades. Trying to see if there's anything cool on the back. Foxholes, stealth, F4s, an upside down counter sheet with all the Russian and American squads, crews, and leaders. Big new wreck counters as well. Very nice. Okay, what do we got here? Now, a couple more maps. These are the maps, I think these two, these two are actually from the Lock and Load magazine, I believe. So you get those as well, because you might need them. Now, let's see what they did with the epically large, get this out of the way, epically large, here we go. Oh, they changed the names, how about that? Look at that. All right, let me show you something here. So this is going to be interesting. This was a single hardbound map, mounted map that had different city names. Can you see that city name there? So it says Nidoyosha, Starkolos over there. Oops, lost a leg on the whatchamacallit, on the tripod. This used to be called Eisenbach, I think, because that's where one of the other games was set. But they've changed these names. Now I wonder if these are real city, village names, or just fictionalized stuff as well. But you do have this monster, very cool mix of open and closed terrain to play on, and have your massive tank battles, or fly your hinds in and land, capture the village, etc., etc., etc. So lots of space here to have a lot of fun, and this is looking pretty nice. Let's have a look at some of these charts and stuff as well while I got them here. There's a bunch of stuff down the bottom. Some dice. So you've got, this is just that rules reference that we saw in the back of the book. Back of the rule book is also right here, so that you can just have it by your side. I use this. This was a fan-made chart. You can pretty much play the whole game off of this if you needed to. It's got all the different vehicle types on here as well. Very, very handy. What do we got here? Sequence of play, that's fine. Nothing on the back. 2 rules reference. No, this is something different. Sorry, this is your CRT. Your terrain effects chart and CRT on the back. DFT, same deal. Combat results table. And then, of course, there are luck cards and skill cards for the for heroes and leaders as warranted by scenarios. So a pretty impressive package. It looks pretty frickin' swanky. And I have an in-shrink copy of this game that has the hardbound map, the older version, and I can't fold this map up. And I will probably be putting that up for sale at some point. That's not how that map gets folded up, but we'll fix that in a sec. But in the meantime, we have this here to goof around with, and I will probably have to punch this bad boy out and play a nostalgia scenario just for the heck of it. But the good news is everything, I can put a counter tray in here, everything's going to fit. Once I fold my map up correctly, it'll all fit in there. And I've got it in the wrong way around, but you know the story. Here's the Red Star. Heroes Against the Red Star, I should say. Pretty nice. I'm very impressed with the quality of the reprint and the way that they've pulled everything together here. I think they're onto a great idea of bringing these boxes up in size so that we can put all the components in. I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to have everything has to be in baggies, and I've had to split up all of my lock and load modules across various boxes to keep maps in one, rules in another, and counters in a third. This will allow me to keep everything that belongs together. Very, very cool. I'm loving it. Talk to you guys soon. We'll get a scenario up on the board pretty soon. Ciao.